We're divorce attorneys, and we just watched episode 6 of All's Fair. We're almost through the entire season.
Almost. How many episodes are there?
I think 10?
10? 7? Something. Almost.
Not 7. I think 10. I believe I remember reading somewhere where it ends somewhere around December. So I think we're almost done.
And shocking, got renewed for season 2.
So we will be back for season 2.
We will. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. But, and all the, everything out there is basically like, this show is absolutely horrible, but it got renewed for season 2. So obviously people are watching, right? Just like us. But this episode, I can't believe they started with the hair again.
Obsessed with his hair.
It's the greasy hair again. Like, it's not just last episode she shampoos it. This time she dry shampoos it. And I'm like, what is up with this hair?
And then how about the product placement?
A little obvious.
Yeah. Or I think, what did you tell me that, or it made a little cameo?
It did make a little cameo. It was kind of cute. I was like,
I know. First they zoom into it, and then she puts it on his hair. And she's, of course, had to say exactly what it is. Oh, it's the dry shampoo from Oribe. Okay, sure. Move on.
He's like, okay, yeah, sure. My hair's greasy, dry it up, whatever.
I know.
But that was a little odd. But there we go with the hair again. But in this episode, essentially, it starts off with she's prepping him. They're about to go into mediation. At first, I wasn't sure if it was mediation or arbitration because she kept talking about, we're going to go see the judge and you need to have tears. And I was kind of excited. I said, oh, they're finally going to go to court. We're going to see some litigation. Then it's like, wah, wah. They end up back at a table where they always end up.
I thought the same. I got so excited. I'm like, we're finally getting some courtroom litigation. No,
Nada.
Not at all. But I did love when she told him, you better cry, because tears are gold.
Tears are gold. One of the things that she said was, people never forget how you make them feel. And that is 100% true. You have to convey some emotion, not overly dramatic, but, go deep, dig deep down and find those emotions, find out, what you're feeling and try to convey that at mediation, at court, or whatever it is, because it does, show through.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Judges are human. And yes, they need to follow the law, but at the end of the day, they are human. And credibility is a huge, huge thing that a lot of judges look at. And sometimes the tears can work in your favor and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, except that, here, Sarah Paulson took it a little too far and she wiped his eyes with wasabi. So weird. But I was like, okay, we don't do that. We don't wipe our clients' eyes with wasabi to make them, start crying.
No, we prep them, but no, I'm not going to cause them any physical pain or anything to cause tears when we're at court or mediation.
Yeah, so essentially she preps them, they sit down at this table to negotiate, and it ends up being a mediation. So we're not going to court, we're not going to arbitration. They just have a retired judge who, by the way, they were so impressed by the fact that they mentioned that this judge takes 25 cases a day when he was on the bench. I was like, the judges get that on just the morning calendar sometimes. They get 25 cases. So I was like, what kind of slow judge is this that they're so impressed with?
Well, try Chula Vista. I was there the other day, and I think they had about 20 cases in the morning alone.
Right. Just
restraining order calendars are intense
and that's just like a 2-3 hour window. So anyways, I thought that was kind of weird. But I did like how she prepped him to go and how they tried to touch on the emotions again with Kim and try to, the mediator said, why don't you start talking about how you felt or what brought you here again? It just take you back from the beginning.
Yeah, and I agree. And I've noticed a lot of mediators do that approach, whether they do the mediation together or in separate rooms. But a lot of the mediators want to get to know the clients, the people there. Because, again, each person has their own story. And so I do believe it was nice kind of seeing that. And then you kind of see them, in a way, reminisce and reconnect. Mm-hmm. And what I thought was funny, though, was after he, said how much he loved her and it was reminiscing the first time they met. And then at the end, when she was supposed to speak, she said, well, I need to get up. And she had a moment. She left. And I thought it was funny when he was with his attorney, Sarah Paulson, and he was like, maybe this is a mistake. I feel so bad. And she was quickly like, do not be weak.
We've had that. Clients, sometimes they do get a little bit weak. And the reason why we tell them, don't be weak, it's because that's just a moment. For that moment, they might feel a little connection, or they might feel bad, or whatever it may be. But we already know that you fall into this little tiny pocket. And if you make a decision that's going to impact you for the rest of your life, meaning you settle on something that you maybe really didn't want to, but because of that little emotion that you had, you ended up giving something up, you end up regretting it, and you end up blaming your attorney. So I think Sarah Paulson was basically like, look, stop being weak, be strong, and this is not what you want. Like, you're getting divorced. Like, stop giving in. And, there's a balance there.
And I see that. I believe it is normal because, again, like I said, we're all human. And we do see that a lot, especially family law, where people are very emotional.
I love the fact when they started their mediation, how he starts texting her under the table, and he texts her, you look, something he said,
you look sexy.
You look sexy or something like
hot.
that. Something like that. He texted her, and it reminded me of, I was at a mediation once with a client, and they were this older couple, and we represented a husband, and she just had so much anger towards our client. Like, she hated him, her ex. And the whole time we were mediating, he kept looking at her, and he kept telling me, like, she's still so beautiful. And so during that mediation, he started winking at her and blowing her kisses. And I was like, stop. And then she just got so angry. It just reminded me of that. He was like, during this whole, I'm like, stop. Like, seriously, like, she hates you. Stop doing this. But
never funny. A dull moment with family law. I always say that. Never a dull moment.
It's not. It's like, I remember he winked, blew a kiss at her, and then he said, give her one of the horses. I'm like, what? Like, she doesn't want horses. And he's like, just give her the horses. He's like, I love her. Weird. It's funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I was excited with this whole, that finally we get to the Kim Kardashian divorce, because what I assumed was this is going to be the big battle, the big issue during the entire season. So once I got to it, I'm like, okay, we're getting there. And then she goes to the bathroom, and, she gets all sad. And then that's when we realize that, unfortunately, the embryos didn't take, and she gets her period, so she's not pregnant. And then she confesses to her attorney, to Glenn Close, I took the embryos. And I was like, okay, we're getting to the part where she admits she committed a fraud, and this is going to be something huge. And she just said it like if nothing, like, not that big of a deal, so what?
They could have turned this into something a lot more, like, juicy, into some moment. And even when it came up at the mediation, Kim ended up, they go back to the table, and Kim just blurts it out and tells them about the embryos. It's like, why would you do this? Because essentially Sarah Paulson's telling her, well, we know you want those embryos, so here's what we're willing to do with the deal. You can keep the embryos, and here's what we want. And she's like, well, I actually already implanted them, and they didn't take. I'm like, why are you saying this? Like, you're so dumb. Like, attorneys, their own worst enemy as clients.
Again, volunteering information. Why? And I'm really glad Glenn Close actually said something that we said in our prior episodes, is that us attorneys make the worst clients.
Absolutely. It's like, you think you know everything, or you think you know the law, and it's like, and you do, but when it comes to your own life, you're not able to apply it the same way, which is why you never represent yourself, and you keep your mouth shut. Like, if they don't ask for something, don't volunteer it. Kim's just like everywhere she goes. She's like, detectives blurting out. It's like, to the opposing side, blurting out information. It's like, woman, just keep your mouth shut.
Right. And again, her big mouth complicated her case. So I guess there was a prenup, when they brought it up, and I was surprised because I remember when we talked about it, how come she did not have a prenup? Because why were they even negotiating, I believe, in episode 1 or episode 2?
They were basically, there is no prenup.
Yeah. So, okay. Now there's a prenup. Now there's a prenup. They want to discuss it. And I love how Sarah Paulson and her new partner were saying, okay, we want to invalidate the prenup, but without saying it. We're going to not contest it, but it's going to come out. It's going to be invalidated. Okay. Good strategy. And of course, her partner, Sarah Paulson's partner, knew, because maybe it is well known in that realm in the show that Kim Kardashian loves to volunteer information, because that's exactly what she did. When Sarah Paulson and her partner were asking her about her school, the history, even Glenn Close was saying, like, why is that relevant? Like, why are we talking? And Kim's like, oh, don't worry, I will talk about it.
You never, ever, ever volunteer information,
Right.
ever. And Kim, in this particular situation with the school, which is essentially, apparently she owned a school, she purchased a school that she went to shut it down because of all her experience that she had as a child in there and didn't want anybody going back to that school. So she purchased it, shuts it down, and doesn't disclose it in her prenup. And she's like, well, it kind of doesn't matter. And she starts disclosing this information at mediation. You are an attorney. You know that if you don't disclose something in your prenup, that is a reason to potentially invalidate the prenup. And here you are just volunteering. So now you've volunteered information that could potentially, of a crime or a breach of contract, however you want to do. And now to invalidate a prenup, like the murder case to a detective, like she is just digging her grave. Just
Right.
deeper and deeper.
She's self-sabotaging. I'm like, I don't even think she realizes it. And what's really infuriating is this character is supposed to be a really smart, powerful attorney. And I'm just like, girl.
And you see none of this coming? I mean, this is literally sabotaging your career, your everything.
Right. I'm like, going back to prenups, 101 is you have to disclose all of your assets and debts. And a lot of people, I think, do not understand that. We've even had in our own cases where I'm preparing a prenup and my client will say, well, I don't have anything. I have nothing to disclose. I'm like, you don't have a bank account? You don't have money? No, there's really nothing in there. We still have to. It is extremely important. So Kim trying to say, well, I didn't think it was important, or why would I have to do that? It's like, you're an attorney, a family law attorney. You're not just a regular non-attorney.
Yeah, or you don't practice some other area and you're like, I had no idea what family law. Like, this is your area. You know this. I get you don't represent yourself, but you know the law. It's a bit ridiculous with those little things. But I mean, generally, I think there was not a lot there. The clothing, they didn't change.
No, I know. Like, her outfit was cute. I love the red outfit, but again, with the high slit where she walked, you pretty much saw everything. But I was disappointed with how it kind of ended with the whole divorce. Because again, I was excited. This is going to be the big issue, the big plot. Nope. It was just, okay. Again, their tactics. Let's try a little blackmail, which, by the way, caused Sarah Paulson to have an emotional break, another one, but an intense one.
Oh, yeah, they blackmailed her with a video of her DUI arrest or something like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's in the cop car, which they could have easily said. But a lot of times it happens, especially in LA, where a lot of law enforcement, the police officers, do leak these videos. Mm-hmm. So, but either way, whatever. The fact that she started standing up and yelling, and she did cross the line. She said a lot of really mean things to Kim Kardashian's character, where her ex-husband even had to get Sarah Paulson, even her own partner said, stop. Like, this is embarrassing. The fact that not only are you doing this in front of your colleagues, but in front of a judge, whether he's a retired judge, that's your reputation. We already said she was pretty unhinged, but this is bad. And the thing is, it happens.
It does. Attorneys do take things very personal. It's not their case. And we mentioned it before. It's like Sarah Paulson just going completely unhinged. And it's like, this is not your divorce. This is not our divorce. Calm down. I remember we've had opposing sides basically say that you're in cahoots with the judge, or that you're dating the judge, or some crazy stuff that they make up. Like, people go nuts. I mean, in this particular case, she got all on top of the desk and, caused a scene. And I mean, we've seen some stuff like that. People go on top of a desk, people go under a desk. Like, we've seen it all, where people just get a little bit unhinged. But yeah, I think overall this episode was
It was just a letdown. And I guess at the end, okay, good for them that they made amends, her and Niecy Nash and Sarah Paulson, Kim Kardashian. Yeah. So, and then it was like, and the divorce is done. But I have to say, at the very end, where Kim Kardashian and her ex kiss,
Well, I mean,
It does happen.
it does. We've had clients where we've done their entire divorce and then they remarry and then we do their second divorce. So people get back together and then get divorced again. So I guess maybe it's possible. Maybe that's where this is going.
Right.
We'll see.
I don't know. But again, another episode, another day.
Right, exactly. So we'll keep watching so that you don't have to.
Stay tuned for the next episode.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.